Mr. President, I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege. Those of you who have been here for years will remember that every August I deliver a breastfeeding speech in celebration of the National Breastfeeding Month. Many of our colleagues are very supportive fathers of breastfeeding, and I start with this anecdote that when I first started delivering this speech, the older gentlemen in the Senate thought it was funny. But the more enlightened younger gentlemen who grew up in the era of being supportive husbands, being more knowledgeable and involved fathers, recognize how important breastfeeding is. So for that, I thank all of my colleagues. The theme for the World Health Organization's 2026 World Breastfeeding Week is Breastfeeding for a Sustainable Start in Life. Strengthen what works. The message is clear. We must sustain and strengthen the policies, investments, and partnerships that make breastfeeding possible for every mother and child. Breastfeeding should not rest on the shoulders of mothers alone. It requires supportive policies, enabling workplaces, informed healthcare professionals, and communities that empower mothers to breastfeed successfully. I'll also mention, Mr. President, that when I had my first child, I did have a doctor who was supportive, but I had friends whose doctors would say, you can if you want, you don't have to. So wala man lang support, Mr. President, to really educate and raise the awareness for the mothers about the importance of breastfeeding. Tandaan nyo, nung time ko, wala namang internet, wala namang TikTok, wala namang Instagram na magkikwento sa amin. So if you don't buy your own books on the importance of breastfeeding, if you don't have a mother or a lola that will educate you, mahirap. And also during my time, my mother was a working mom na during her time, yun yung medyo naging hindi naman trend, but that's what the time that mothers started to work. This is the generation of my mother. So they were also encouraged na they can shorten their breastfeeding. Hindi pa uso ho nun yung mag-pump ka ng milk, dalhin mo sa opisina mo. Medyo doon na sa generation ko yung nag-umpisa. Kaya I mention this because so much work has been done by the communities, by the advocates to make breastfeeding a lifestyle. So we all know that breastfeeding is the simplest way to give a baby its first immunity and address malnutrition. Our colleague, Senator Bam, has sponsored this measure, and a big component of our national nutrition plan includes breastfeeding. It also has health benefits for the mothers, including reduced risk of developing breast and ovarian cancer. I'd also like to point out, given my advocacy for the Sustainable Development Goals, this is consistent with the following: SDG 2 on zero hunger, SDG 3 on good health and well-being, SDG 4 on quality education. Bakit? Sabi ng iba, bakit? Kasi nga, yung bata, kung healthy, and you will learn more in Senator Bam's bill, pag healthy siya as a newborn, as a toddler, as a preschooler, healthy siya because of the breastfeeding and the succeeding nutritional intervention, then makakapag-aral siya ng maayos. So yan ho yung mga connection dyan. Gender equality, which is SDG 5, SDG 10 on reduced inequalities, SDG 12 on responsible consumption and production. Bakit? Kasi hindi ka nabibili ng lata ng gatas. Magbe-breastfeed na lang. Wala ka nang itatapon, wala ka nang i-recycle. Gatas na ng ina yon. SDG 13 on climate action, SDG 17 on partnership for the goals. I want to discuss a little bit about the data. The latest 2025 DOST FNRI updating survey tells two stories. One is a story of progress. The other reminds us that too many mothers still face unnecessary barriers to breastfeeding. So we are moving in the right direction. Exclusive breastfeeding during the first 6 months, which is very crucial, has increased to 54.8%. This is an increase from 2023's 50.4%. So, malaki na na-improve natin. 1993 was 29% only, and in 2003, 34%. So, ngayon, we're at 54.8%. But that still tells us that something like 45% are not continually and exclusively breastfeeding. So marami pa tayong mga babies na mabibigyan pa ng more support, mothers na mabibigyan ng support. Beyond exclusive breastfeeding, we are also making gains. What does this mean? It means that meron pa rin nagbe-breastfeed after 6 months. 61% of Filipino children are still breastfed at 1 year, while 48.5% continue to breastfeed at 2 years. So this continues to give a lot of nutrients to our babies, and this is the highest ever recorded rate in more than a decade. So congratulations to DOH and to all the advocates. Yet there are still barriers. Exclusive breastfeeding is practiced by 66.1% of mothers in the poorest households, and yet only 41% in the higher income bracket. Bakit kaya? This is most likely due not just to income, but the different circumstances faced by probably working mothers, the working conditions. Nakakapag-breastfeed ba sila pag nagtatrabaho sila? May oras ba sila mag-breastfeed? May support ba sila? Like I said, during my time, I was the first in my office, from my recollection in my law office, to breastfeed, and I had all the support from my bosses, from my mother, who would even bring my daughter to the workplace so I could breastfeed pag hindi ko na kayang mag-pump. Anyway, regardless of socioeconomic background, every mother and child deserves this kind of support. Another important statistic, Mr. President, is the crucial first golden hour. Only 59.4% of newborns are put to breast within their first hour of life. So talagang dapat dito yung nakikita nyo sa movies na pagkapanganak, binibigay sa mommy, binibigay sa dibdib niya. A baby would naturally veer towards the breast of the mother. So if we do not make this possible, we are losing that opportunity for babies to have the best possible nutrition and to start a good habit. I would like to share some related activities. Here in the Senate, it has been more than 10 years, and it really just feels like 5 years ago, but 2014 pa, in partnership with the Senate Gender and Development Focal Point Group, we pushed for the establishment of a lactation room in the Senate. It has now been moved to the 5th floor, from the 5th floor and now to the 2nd floor. This is so important, dear colleagues, because we hear stories of women, young mothers who come to the Senate and say, uy, meron pala kayong lactation room, pwede pala akong mag-pump doon. And they're here for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours for hearings, and they're able to sustain their breastfeeding because of this lactation room. So thank you pa rin parate sa ating GAD Focal Point Group. Also, when I was a congresswoman for the 2nd District of Taguig, we also did the same in the House of Representatives. Meron pala akong request sa GAD office to please put signage in key areas of the Senate building, especially for outsiders, so that they would know when they arrive. Kasi nga dati, may sign tayo, kaya alam nga nung nag-a-attend ng hearing na meron tayong lactation room. So let's please do that. And that's my staff over there, si Elaine yan, di ba? That's Elaine yan, nag-a-avail siya. Lagyan nyo naman mga magazine, lagyan nyo na rin ng Netflix. Anyway, because the most important thing, and this is in our law, is that it's a clean place, it's sanitary, there's a table, there's a chair, and there's a chilling facility to store the milk. So many of my female staff are proudly models for the working mom breastfeeding life. I'd like to take a little bit of credit that because I really supported my staff to be breastfeeding moms. It goes a long way. A lot of them breastfed all their babies for long periods of time, and I often see now, not just in my office but more, na nakasuot ng a cape or like a, what do you call it, like a robe that gives them some breastfeeding cover that gives them some privacy and they're able to work. Ang dami ko nakikitang ganun, kahit sa hearing, nakikita nyo sa background. I always think of Abby, my lawyer who was caught, I mean, not caught, but yeah, I'm proudly breastfeeding with privacy because of that. And my personal assistant also, si Claire, and then si Cherry. Through my Pinay in Action advocacy arms, we have seminars all over the country. I won't even mention where because it's really all over the country. Proudly, we were able to share the importance of breastfeeding. And I will just be submitting my entire speech for the record to go through the details of the history of the relevant laws. It started with an executive order, or known as the Philippine Milk Code, which prohibited the advertising, promotion, or sponsorship of breast milk substitute. Ito po yung dinatnan ko na napaka-importanting law, although this is just an executive order, but it has the strength of a law. Kasi at that time, namimigay po ng gatas ang mga milk companies sa hospitals. Inabot ko pa yung time na yon. And this is a deterrent to breastfeeding because a young mother is very vulnerable to just giving her baby milk from the can kung wala namang nagtuturo sa kanya ng importance and actually how to breastfeed. So this law is very important, and I'm happy to know na now medyo strictly enforced na po ito. And then in 1992, the Rooming In and Breastfeeding Act of the late Senator Angara was enacted. Ito yung law na inabot na siguro ng mga young colleagues natin na pag nanganak yung wife nyo, their babies automatically brought to the mother, hindi na nakahiwalay. And then in 2006, I filed my first bill to promote breastfeeding in the country. This is the Breastfeeding Promotion Act of 2006. It was approved, but in the Senate only. So because it was not yet taken up in the House, I had to refile it again. And eventually it passed in 2009, the expanded Breastfeeding Promotion Act. So, like I said, it established lactation centers, stations, which I showed you pictures of. It also established lactation periods for nursing employees. So, karapatan ng employees to express their milk. I hope our colleagues are mindful of this and support the breastfeeding employees of the Senate. The law only allows 40 minutes. Sa totoo lang, kailangan more. So if we can be more generous with the time, kasi if you're going to be at work for 8 hours, you probably have to pump around 3 times. And how will you do that in 40 minutes divided by 3 times? Pinaka-minimum siguro is 20 minutes, and you probably need more pa. So I ask us and even other employers listening to my speech to try to be supportive of nursing moms. I was able to work while doing this, making multi-use of my hands, and still taking calls, calling my clients. So kaya naman po, sana maging supportive pa tayo. This law also integrated breastfeeding in breastfeeding education in the curricula. And it also designated August as Breastfeeding Awareness Month, hence this speech. After this was passed, years later, we passed the Kalusugan at Nutrisyon ng Mga Nanay Act in 2018, otherwise known as the First 1,000 Days. And then, in 2019, we passed one of the laws that I worked very hard for, the 105-day expanded maternity leave law. Because by expanding maternity leave, we also give mothers more time with their babies, more time to establish their milk supplies. I will end here, dear colleagues. I just want to emphasize that mothers still face the challenges of believing in the importance of breastfeeding dahil medyo aggressive talaga ang promotion ng milk in a can by many companies. So I ask that we continue to support the advocacy so that lalong ma-promote ang breastfeeding. And I also call on the companies to be aware that it is a mother's right to be fully informed and to be fully supported in her breastfeeding journey. At the national level, we continue to strengthen the capacity of our barangay health workers and barangay nutrition scholars. Maraming salamat sa kanila. Sila talaga yung on the ground na tumutulong sa mga kababayan natin. And at the local level, we should empower communities by establishing mother-to-mother support groups, expanding home visits by midwives, lactation specialists, barangay health workers, nutrition scholars to continue to promote awareness in the communities. But again, I'd like to emphasize in the workplace. A lot of mothers are the breadwinners, and it would be very sad if they could not breastfeed or continue their breastfeeding because the company they work for is not supportive of this, even though it is mandated. So on that note, I just want to add, what is also important is the establishment of milk banks around the country. Milk banks are like blood banks. May naka-ipon na milk, na breast milk for mothers who can't give their babies their own breast milk. And by law, we're supposed to have more milk banks across the country. I leave it at that, Mr. President. Maraming salamat sa mga colleagues na taon-taon nakikinig dito sa breastfeeding privilege speech because it is very important for our families. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you very much,
President.
Senator Pia. And yung breastfeeding station is a very important and worthwhile GOD project. Alam naman natin na ang GOD Fund is 5% of the total fund. So napakalaki po ang GOD Fund every year. And minsan nga ho, yung mga projects ay hindi naman nararamdaman ng ating mga kababaihan. So itong breastfeeding station is really a project na hindi lang nararamdaman, nagagamit talaga. No? So hopefully we can look for more worthwhile projects to use our GOD Fund.